Let's just focus primarily on this. This is one of Edgar Payne's drawings, and I'd like to call your attention to. Let me fill this thing up to how he handled very simply. I mean, because this is a low horizon, a low vantage point in here. How he handled his entrance into his composition. This is one of his drawings, obviously. Uh, but you'll notice how he has the overlapping, the linear perspective, and we'll discuss this a little bit more because it's so important. The overlapping and stepping back of these shapes, and at this, we don't know what those are. I mean, there's some sort of ground cover, but you'll notice that it has a natural lead in to the rest of this more intimate mid-ground foreground area, which is so important. I mean, these little step-ins that we're looking at right here, they're leading you into this really major anchor right here, this cast shadow. This is still part of the foreground. So it's leading the viewer's eye in here, anchors it, and now you've trapped the viewer's eye in the painting. Maybe trap isn't a very good word, but you've brought them into the your parlor, so to speak, and now they want to explore the rest of the painting, the rest of the statement. And that's what I'm referring to when I say now this is a welcoming entry into your painting, and it needs to have significant attention paid to it. It's a very important passage in your painting. Let's look at another one here of John F. Carlson's, and I've purposely chosen a number of these to be black and white, so we're not kind of enamored with the color, because this is a good example of the color is really irrelevant. What is the overall composition? What are the value patterns doing? Do they have a natural lead in? Do they have a sound graphic structure to them? The composition. And again, we'll call your attention to the simplest of attachments to the bottom of the painting. This is one of the most important lines, one of the four most important lines of your painting is this edge. Never overlook that fact. So how this linear right here, in this perspective linear, relates to the edge of the canvas is hugely important. What is the space here? What is the space here? This darker value. They're an interesting proportion, and then you have this other little accent right in here, again in the foreground, and it's all leading inward. It's a very thoughtfully designed foreground. The same over here out this the bottom left edge. That elegant little line right here, this little note that's still leading you into the painting, and this wonderful thoughtful repetition of these curves, and this wonderful, again, the linear aspect of the overlapping shapes. This little drop in the hillside here that naturally leads you into the painting. These are again really important and critical elements of devices, if you will, of leading the eye into the painting. The foreground is such an important initial passage in your thought process. So don't toss it off. Utilize this. Be thoughtful with your overall design. So and make this lead in a major consideration in your overall design. Let's look at another one of John F. Carlson's. And the reason I picked a number of these is because that, initially it seems like, well, it's, foreground's pretty insignificant. It's really not much of the painting at all. It's only this little section right in here that we're looking at. Well, yeah, it's incredibly important when you notice these little subtle linears in here. These are real subtle value shifts, but they are so important. Just looking at how dang it, let me get rid of that. I didn't mean to do that one. I don't know how it leads right in here and into. This is subtle but masterful, and look how it carries that line through here and down in here. I don't know why that darn thing's doing that. So you can see all these, how they interrelate, and these parallels with the bottom of the frame, but they're graceful. You see how all these nice horizontal lines work. They're overlapping. This subtle little movement right here that draws the viewer's eye in. And granted, it's a small part of a larger painting, much larger painting. But how important it is, how he is this little subtle diagonal, how he picks it up over here in the dark against light, and this right here, this lower area is light against dark. Just very thoughtful, planned out foreground introductions. Again, let's look at another one. This one is a little larger foreground, obviously, and you can see again John F. Carlson, and you can see the thought that he's given to the entrance here of these darks against the lights, and how it moves so gracefully back in, and how the implied, with these overlaps in the linears, the implied depth that he achieves, and how important. Just think, if they weren't there, if there was, let's just say, for instance, we'll try this. Let's just go here. Okay. And let's get a bigger brush. And get rid of that. Now, what if none of this, what if this was just snow going back? Let's just get rid of some of these really key darks and see what happens. And if this was just, you still have the effect of this perspective of the road itself in here. You still have that, but it's not nearly as strong, is it? You see how important it is to have these subtleties, these wonderful subtle diagonals that go back in here that we're talking about. Let me get down here, and let's look at this one. And you can see now, oh darn it, bear with me. I'm not the technical whiz that Gabor is, so it takes me a little bit longer. But now you can see the importance of the value, the light against dark, and right down to these little subtleties. These are just masterfully planned out, and how important they are to the overall statement.
Hi, I'm Skip Whitcomb. I'll be conducting a mentoring course on color harmony. In over 40 years of teaching, color seems to be one of the biggest mysteries. We'll be able to spend a year together developing a reliable foundation for making harmonious color decisions. There are certain irrefutable truisms in painting. One is the fewer colors used, the stronger and more harmonious the statement. Economy of color equals clarity of intention. Respected painters, past and present, understood this concept and have employed it in one form or another. We will explore the power of a limited palette, calculating progressive sequences of 3 to 6 colors, referred to as harmonic chords, and explore how to select the best color set to serve our concept. The goal is to give each artist a reliable foundation for making color decisions, for developing personal expressions of color. Hope to see you in the course.